Assalamu alaikum, inshallah you're well guys. So today we're going to cover off the interview question, what is your greatest achievement? And this is a nice question to ask towards the end of the interview. It gives the interviewer an opportunity to assess the candidate outside of work, see what their personality is like. And I like to ask this question at the end of my interviews to find out something interesting about the candidate. The first tip is don't talk about an achievement at work or in education because that's boring. No one wants to hear that towards the end of an interview. It's definitely a red flag for me, and if you did that with me, I'd definitely follow up and ask for an achievement outside of work. In my opinion, the best answers are the ones where you demonstrate perseverance to achieve a tough goal. So in your answer, you need to take me along on a journey to demonstrate how you achieved that goal. As an example, your answer could be along the lines of, I'm an enthusiastic baker and I entered a local baking competition where I won first prize. That's my greatest achievement. Now, as an interviewer, firstly, I'm going to think that's quite short. There's not much detail in there. So what if you're a baker? There's many bakers out there. But if you were going to take me on a journey, your answer could have been better phrased by saying along the lines of, I'm an enthusiastic baker because I like to bake regularly and try out new recipes that I see on Instagram. And it's got to the point where I feel comfortable enough to enter local competitions. And I remember one competition where I entered, I made this cake with edible figurines. It was 100% edible. And it was really great for me because I ended up winning first prize. And as part of this, my picture was published in the local newspaper, which felt great because it's always good to be recognized. But what made this my greatest achievement was that this was the first step in me starting my own baking business, because as a result of that newspaper article, I was inundated with lots of inquiries. Now, it's not the best example out there, but it's definitely better than saying I'm a baker and I won first prize. I took the interviewer on a journey and explained how my passion for baking turned into a side business. Storytelling is so important in this answer, and if you can link in skills which the employer is looking for, that's the icing on the cake. So common examples I hear to this question are traveling to different countries. So the skills being that you have experiences of interacting with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, languages, personal family examples such as getting married or having a child, or achieving black belt or the highest level possible in a particular sport or activity. Now, your answer must be unique to you. And I've already answered this question as part of my practice interview. So inshallah, let's check that answer out.
So John, that's a bit of a tough question because I'm not really someone who brags much. But if I had to choose one of my most positive achievements, that would probably be my education. And I don't mean in terms of my grades or results. It's more about what that represents, because I was the first person in my family to go to university. And my parents are naturally quite proud of that. And the fact is that I now am a role model for my siblings and others within my community to continuously improve, right? It represents continuous improvement, which is great for me. I mean, what I would love is if I got the opportunity to work here and go on and become a chartered accountant, because again, that's another example of continuous improvement. And again, it means I would continue to act as a positive role model for others in my local community.
First off, I think my answer could have been better. I know I didn't give an example from education, but I did mention the word. So that may have caused an interviewer to switch off straight away. Also, I think I was trying to play in emotions too much. Oh, I'm the first person to go to university from my background or from my local community. Well, so what? That's quite common. There's loads of people from different backgrounds who are the first in their families or in their community to go to university. That's not a very unique example. Overall, if I could go back, I'd definitely change my answer to this interview question. But again, guys, from an interviewer's perspective, I'm going to ask this question towards the end of the interview. So long as the candidate has met all the other criteria and I'm happy with them, they'd have to fail miserably for me to reject them based on their response to this question. Now, I said that people's answers should be unique to them, but I'm going to share the best answer that I've heard in an interview. And to put things into context, I've asked this question over a dozen times. So it must be good, in my opinion, for me to remember this answer. Now, I'm not going to do that person justice in my delivery, but I'm going to try my best. So I'm a big fan of Disney, and it's always been a dream to go to Disneyland, Florida. So I saved up for a while and I managed to make that trip a few years ago, which was a fantastic experience. Whilst I was there, I saw someone who was wearing these amazing medals at one of the cafeterias, and it got me quite intrigued because people don't normally walk around wearing medals at Disneyland. So I plucked up the courage and I went up to them and I said, "Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking, but where did you get those medals from? I want to purchase them." And she was very kind and polite and she said, no, I didn't purchase them, but I got them for completing runs around Disneyland. and I got a different medal for each run I had completed. Now, I'm not a sporty person, but I did like those medals, so I found out more information, and when I went home, I started training. I spent over a year running in my local park, come rain or shine. Along the journey, I did get some injuries, but I didn't let that deter me. I kept my focus. And I returned to Disneyland around 18 months later, and on the Tuesday, I completed a 5K run. On the following day, I completed a 10K run, and on the third day, I completed a half marathon to win all the medals possible. That's my greatest achievement because I know how much effort I put in to achieve those goals. And if we were doing this interview in my other room, I would have definitely shown you my medals. Now, that example was much better than mine. It doesn't matter whether you like Disney or not, it's just an example, but their answer had all the traits which I've covered off in this video today, especially storytelling, because they took me on a journey. They spoke about perseverance, spending over a year working towards a goal. And make the link, guys, if you're a grad, you're going to spend 3 years working towards the ACA, so that requires determination. But not only that, when they were delivering that answer, they also took me on a journey, hence why I said my way of delivery would not do them justice. Also, whilst they were delivering that answer, I was expecting them to have completed one run, which is a great achievement in itself. I haven't completed any runs in my life, but they managed to complete 3 runs in 3 days, which massively surpassed my expectations. So that made the answer sound even better. Inshallah, I'll leave it there, guys. As always, any questions or queries, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.